Benvenuti a questo podcast dal titolo Stories of Scientists. Noi siamo degli studenti della scuola Stuparic di Trieste. Oggi abbiamo come ospite uno scienziato che si occupa di cambiamenti climatici e si chiama Cyril, che lavora presso al Centro Internazionale di Fisica Teorica qui a Trieste. Gli faremo delle domande. Non perdiamo altro tempo, vi lasciamo allo scienziato e alle domande dei nostri compagni. Speriamo vi piaccia e che vi sembri interessante.
Good morning, I'm Riccardo, she is Victoria, and today we will ask you some questions about your life and your career.
Hello, we're happy to have you here.
The first question is, how your career started?
It's a long story. After it started in Toulouse, in France, and I was on the site of the Météo France, so like the French Met Office. I done my PhD there, and then I moved to Liverpool. I worked there for 13 years. I was a bit like a slave of professors, let's say, working for different professors at the university. And then after this period in Liverpool, now I'm in review. I'm with you in Trieste, in ICTP, al Centro di Fisica. So I'm the International Center of Theoretical Physics. You came to see us a few weeks ago for the talk. So I'm working now with an English colleague still, and we're working on climate change and vector-borne diseases. So basically climate change impacts on diseases transmitted by insects, mosquitoes, flies, ticks, etc. But we focus on mosquito and we focus on malaria, dengue, these kind of diseases.
What part of your job do you like or don't like?
What do I like? What I don't like? What I like, it's all the interaction and the people you meet. People you meet in Italy, the people you meet in England, in America, in Brazil, all over the world, in Africa. So that's very cool because you meet very nice people, different culture, different background. So that's very cool. And usually, as we do now, we speak English because it's easier to understand each other.
You go around the world. You travel.
Yes, I travel, but I'm trying to be good because with climate change, we have to be very careful. We have to slow down because if we fly every day, then we talk about climate change. It's not very serious. Okay, so we have to take the train in Italy or in Austria, not far. I take the train, but sometimes you have to fly long distances. So I'm trying to be good. So being a climate scientist, we also have to be very careful because you don't want to travel too much. You have to be careful about your emissions. So you have to keep an eye on this. So I'm trying to be good, but it's not easy. So things I like: meeting people, conference dinner, good food, chatting, socializing. That's very good part of the job, meeting interesting people from all over the world. What I don't like sometimes, the pressure, because it's a lot of work to do. Sometimes you got very hard with your computer, and there's a lot of modeling, so I do a lot of programming, like coding with my hands. It's a bit exhausting sometimes. My eyes are telling me to rest sometimes. It's like just too much work. So what I like, people. What I dislike sometimes, my computer, spending too much time on computer.
Okay, cool, thanks. And next question, the scientist that you admire the most?
Wow, a scientist.
Yeah.
Because I like historians and I like other things too. You mean like a proper, real scientist I admire the most? I quite like Louis Pasteur. He did the Pasteur Institute because he was kind of saw the discovery of the modern medicine and all the treatment. So Pasteur has kind of saved many lives, so I quite admire him. There's one. Others, there's an Australian man you don't know, it's called Jared Diamond. I quite like too, because he studied a bit of everything. He's a bit like Da Vinci, he's doing a bit of everything. He's doing a bit of history, anthropology, science, epidemiology, and he writes very interesting books on how history connect with diseases. When the white people came to America and killed all the North Americans, diseases were involved. There was like smallpox, the Americans were fighting in the Pacific, there was lots of deaths because of diseases, dengue, malaria. Same with Napoleon, so you see it all over history. And this man is very good because you're very cool.
Okay. The next question: how will the world be in 20 years? Because we're very young, so we are very worried about the future.
Oh, that's a tough question. You're tough with me, Ricardo, Vittoria.
We are sorry. It's our only difficult question for you today.
And I need to tell you what I think the world will be in 10 years. That's the question.
Yeah.
Am I
In
correct?
10
Yes.
or 20 years.
It's difficult to say, but I would say something important. That's all the scenario, all the future projections with the models we've been doing. It's happening already now, and it's kind of faster than we expected, especially for Europe. Europe is going faster. We thought that we'll get this temperature that you got on the summer when it's very warm. We thought that would happen in 2030. 2035, a bit, So in the next 10 years, I would expect things to change, and badly, because it's going to get warmer, and you're going to see more and more of those climate news, I would say. And the thing to remember, which is very important about climate change, is that even stop doing everything now, the whole world stop. What we do now is going to impact in 10, 20, 30 years, because the carbon is going to stay in the atmosphere for very long. So what I would expect for the next 10 years is going to get worse. It's going to get warmer. You're going to keep seeing news with like floods, big like hailstorm. I think that was close to the record was beaten in Italy, by Trieste. I think in Pordenone, they're like hail balls like this big, like ice balls falling from the sky. So it's going to get worse, but there's still hope, I think, because we start to change things. But what we do now, what people are doing, because they start to get aware about climate and all the problems, we should have done it 10 years ago, I think. So we're running behind. We really need to move fast, because what we do now is going to impact the next 20, 30 years, even if we stop. You saw it with the pandemic. We stopped everything for 1 year, 2 years, and we slow down. No much car, no much traveling, mascherina, not moving much. And even with that, the carbon still went up. Okay, just to give you an idea about the situation. So worse, but still hope. And then we see. It's difficult to forecast the future.
Do you have any advice to give, to share to any learned student?
Yeah. I think there's a few, Ricardo. The first one is you still need to be good at school, because that's how it works, the system. You're going to get to your school, then you go to the next level, then at some point you're going to go to university, and it's going to carry, and you go next level. So you have to keep being good. You need to pass your exam. That's number one. If you don't pass your exam, then you're. But then it's not a disaster. It's also on you. It's like, what do you do with your free time? You can read books. Okay, you don't need to be at school. You can buy good books. You can ask your teacher. So that's the thing. You need to. I think the big advice is you keep going at this level, and in parallel you do extra work like you do. You work more, but with the things you like the most. You focus on the things you like the most. Okay. And the very important thing too is to have friends and people you can rely on to also, at some point you need to say, okay, stop all of this. I'm going to go play football, I'm going to go cycling, I'm going to go swimming, I'm going to do also a hobby, something else. And try to find a good equilibrium, a balance between those things. And it's difficult, it's not easy.
That's it. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the audience, and bye. See you in the next episode.
Cool. Grazie Riccardo. Grazie Vittoria. Thank you.